How important do you think is for innovation and ideas where you have to operate at the edge of different disciplines?
What do you mean? Give a more.
Say, for example, biology and technology, or therefore you've got biochemistry, right? Or for example, biotechnology, where I think these are at the edges of different subjects, and that's where a lot of innovation and invention happen, right? So do you think those are very important for inventions to spread? For example, you're talking about neuroscience, right? So for example, it's uh, neuroscience is again at the edges of two different subjects, right? So therefore what we see as innovation today is you bring in two diverse fields and then start to kind of look at them, and then a new invention or an innovation happens.
I think that is the way a lot of it occurs. Not always, though. I think often you still get a lot of invention that's within a kind of old sector, and you still see new ways of doing things all the time. And there is a risk sometimes that if we always categorize innovation as being at the edges, that we actually neglect the kind of basic, not basic, but like stuff that's in older fields, more mature fields, specialisms that have been around for decades or hundreds of years. A lot of those things still see quite significant improvements. I mean, just look at across the world today, right? You will see very different sectors in very different countries. That tells you that within the countries that don't have the technology of another country, that's clearly there's, it's not like these things just automatically go to the best thing, the most optimized thing. So you see those differences already, but I think even at the cutting edge, you can often see that. There's people are still, I don't know, shoes. We've been making shoes for how many years? Millennia, right? And yet we still see innovation in new shoes, better soles, things that are better for your knees, better for runners. I mean, people running marathons are still inventing new shoes. Bicycles are the same. They're a bit younger as a technology. They've been around for only a few hundred years, but people were still not that long ago winning races because they had redesigned the bike, right? They figured out the way to optimize everything 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, until you get something that seems so transformatively different that you're getting completely different results. So I don't think it always has to be at the cutting edge of new fields. The other interesting thing that I think does go on, though, is you get quite a big degree of... The world is very specialized, right? And always has been very specialized. You spend many years kind of gaining a skill in a very particular niche. You maybe work in that niche for a few years, and then basically the only thing you know is in that niche. And when you get the combinations, you're actually creating new niches, right? Because you've got specialist biologists, you've got specialist chemists, and then you need to have specialist biochemists, right, who are combining the two. They become their own subfield. And again, they have a very specialized language. They have jargon that they use. They refer to things in a very particular way, which, if we have a conversation with a biochemist, we're not going to understand half of the words because it's like very specific things that only they know and only their kind of colleagues and other friends in that area will know. Yeah. And that's always been the case, I think. Like, if you were an artisan in the year 1400, you're going to have your own very specialized lingo that no one else is going to understand as well. Like, those specialisms have disappeared, maybe, or they're even more niche than they are today. But we have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of specialisms, and they're continuing to multiply. But to my mind, what that means is that the scope for more invention is only growing, right? So every time you have a new subfield, that thing can then be improved incrementally. And every time you birth a new kind of combination, that just increases the surface area of things that can be improved, right? So, I mean, this speaks to kind of you often hear people, worrying about the end of invention. Have all the low-hanging fruit being plucked. Nonsense. I think. I mean, I think if anything, we're just discovering. We're still kind of discovering just how much we don't know, because by expanding the sphere of what we do know, we discover even more surface area of things that we can then do next.
Okay.